high. Oh, it's Brian's day, I think, Dennis.
Those 2 10-pins that wouldn't fall, he'll gladly keep those where they are because this is the break of the tournament.
Similar to the shot in the 10th frame. Watch the left side and right side if you both can. There's the 4-7 going, and now the 10-pin goes very late. And his reaction?
A smattering of pins all over the deck, but what it transforms into is a 15-pin advantage and a 3-bagger for the 1988 Player of the Year, Brian Voss. And you knew he was going to take advantage of that big-time break.
He didn't win 10 titles not taking advantage like that.
So Devers, who was the model of consistency early on in this match, he's got to, at this point, just pull himself back together and make a couple of quality shots.
I mean, again, this is a situation in the match where he almost has to strike on this shot, Dan.
He's on a strike and needs another, and he gets it. Slaps out the 7-pin.
Good roll on that ball to get the 7. One more, and he cuts it down to 5 pins, and he answers Brian Voss's double. Again, though, the swing loops out, through, left of that second arrow, watch the 4-pin, knocks out that 7.
Could trim that lead down to just 5 with an X here in the 8th frame.
Definitely would get Voss's attention with one more. Tight on the Brooklyn. Just wouldn't trust it under the pressure. Only the 4-pin spare, an easy spare, keeps it within reason right now with 3 frames to go.
One of just 2 players on the telecast who has a winning record in the championship round. The other, Brian Voss.
Brian with an opportunity to put this match away. Next couple of shots can increase it to 26 and then 36.
Well, he still has a possible 270. He has 6 strikes each on 19 and 20.
And yeah, can't do better than that. That's Steady Eddie. Or Steady Brian.
Oh, good shot. Oh, that 6-pin. Brian just moaning with that shot. You can't throw it much better.
I know. It's amazing how the strike in the 6th frame does fall, and this one does. Watch the 6. See, it whistle stayed low too, Dan. It stayed low right around that 10-pin. It didn't go high. Oh, this game drives a pro bowler crazy.
So much fun to see that 6-pin in slow motion because it happens pretty quickly, but if you've had the eye trained for it, as you and the other professionals have for all those years, the moment it hits, you know what's happened.
Well, the situation, though, becomes, that if Scott Devers could strike out, he can finish the game with 234. That's going to make Voss throw a double somewhere. It's a player that can perform in the 9th and 10th here is going to win the match. A lot of room.
A lot of speed. Ooh, quality shot for Voss, who waves off all 10 pins on lane 19. So he has set the table.
3 solid 10s, or he'd have the first 9.
He's bowled a beautiful game.
Scott has to respond. Now, this is how you win titles on the PBA Tour. He's done it before. We watched him do it in Tucson a few years back. Tie again. Just won't trust it. Got to send that ball to the left, and that's not his game. We heard him talk about in the interview how he kind of used to having tight back ends and pointing that ball up here. The swing falls into the slot, but he kind of comes up, like you say, a little too quick, and that ball heads right to the nose. At the 2-4.
Well, 222 if he strikes out.
We see the difference, 17 pins right there, and Scott Devers has to strike out. Or Brian Voss won't even need a mark in the 10th frame because he can't lose count with the strikeout.
And Brian now realizes he doesn't have to double in the 10th to win the match. You're right. It'll be interesting to talk to Scott after the telecast is over to find out if he just didn't bowl particularly well, because it seemed that if he threw the ball in the area that he wanted to and made a good clean shot, that he had an excellent reaction.
Well, he hasn't been tapped yet that I can see. He's got 6 strikes in this match, can get to 2 more to have 9 strikes, and could still lose. Or 8 strikes he's going to wind up with. Has to have this one. Tie again.
Well, that's been the common denominator for Scott Devers here in this afternoon's title match. He opened with 3 strikes in a row. It looked like he was just going to blow Voss right off this pair of lanes, and this one turned around as Voss put together a 4-bagger from the 4th through the 7th.
Well, you know, in the bios, the left-handers only averaged 2-0 on this pair, and the right-handers averaged much better than that, close to 220. So it's been a better right-handed pair all week long, and it's proved to be that way on the telecast. 212 he finishes with. Brian's just basically got to show up and keep the ball in the lane and stay behind the foul line, and he's going to win. That's a winner.
Voss has been a man that's taken care of opportunities. Had a chance to win earlier this year, won 4 matches out in Pinole to capture that tournament. Now he comes back today from the number 3 position, wins 2 games, and he's 2 for 2 in the title match this year.
And he's undefeated on television. What a game he bowled. Solid 10 in the 1st, 3rd, and 8th, or he'd have them all. And one more for good measure.
Oh, he smiled after leaving that solid 10. Well, obviously a smile when you've won the tournament. For Scott Devers, an opportunity, I think, that got away from him. Although, as you mentioned, Brian bowled such a sensational game that Scott would have had to be at his best. But this week, the champion is Brian Voss. And we'll be back to talk with Brian Voss, who now has 11 career PBA titles, when we return to Austin, Texas.